Younger people of Reddit. What are you tired of hearing from older generations? As a 29-year-old, tired of older people telling me I'll understand joint pain, tiredness when I'm older. I'm disabled and chronically ill. I have had bad joints since birth. Like it's great that all your health problems are a result of your age, but mine have been around and will worsen because of that. Anything to the effect of young people can't have back pain, or any other physical disability. Like, dude, I wish being in my 20s made me immune to being injured. But that's literally just not how the human body works. 34, I'm sick of hearing about how young people just spend all their time on TikTok. How they have stupid dances. How they're just staring at screens all day, blah blah blah. Yes, they do all that stuff, but we had stupid dances when we were younger. We sat in front of the TV all day. I've yet to see someone with square eyes. Also, hearing about how kids/young people today have no respect for their elders. MFs were doing the same shit that people today are doing now. The difference is, everyone has a camera in their pocket. Yeah, I've run into that too. It's kinda horrifying, isn't it? A few years ago I had some acquaintances who are a couple of years younger than me bitching about those lazy millennials, by which they really meant Gen Z, and how immoral they are, and how we had it harder back in the day, like fuck most of us did. Life in the 80s and 90s was simpler and calmer than now, and we had a lot more advantages and less chaos than the generations that came after us. I am 44, but I still feel like I am young. I am tired of hearing pretty much everything my generation says. I don't understand when everybody else just suddenly morphed into their parents. No one wants to work anymore. First of all, no one ever wanted to work. That's why it's called work and not of fun. But second of all, maybe it's that no one wants to work at your job that lists itself as entry level but wants 5 years of experience and a master's degree along with being able to work 12-hour days at minimum wage. When I was your age, I already had 5 kids and 2 grandchildren, or my granddaughter is your age and she already has 3 kids. When are you going to give you mom some grandkids? I'm 30. Not that old, not that young. But this kind of comment? Definitely old for me. I'm so tired of older ladies saying this. I think I wasn't even 18 when they started. They don't accept any reasonable answer that isn't a I'm working on it. Maybe later, or I'm doing my best to get a steady career before having kids, or we are saving. Gets them on a rampage saying some BS about kids not costing a thing and that I'm getting old or that women were born to be mothers, or whatever. So I started being rude. Sorry, but not sorry. They're so judgmental and rude. I'm a restaurant worker and I swear young people are way more polite and easygoing while older people have zero patience. Even though they're the ones who are already retired, oftentimes make racist, sexist, homophobic and body-shaming comments and still act like they're above the younger generation simply because they've been alive for longer. I'm tired of people complaining about how younger people are terrible as though they weren't the ones that raised those younger people to be what they are. When you're older, you'll agree with me. FFS, just because you're older doesn't mean you're always right or that you know the answers to all my life's problems. You grew up in a different time period, with different problems, and different social views. Your problems might be similar, and you might be right some of the time, but that is no excuse to shut down every logical point I make against your beliefs with this line. These millennials and their damn participation trophies, who the fuck were the ones handing them out? They weren't giving them to themselves as children. How we can't fix anything ourselves. Then promptly ask us to fix their Wi-Fi, set up their new phone and figure out why their computer is running slow. We can do plenty, we just have a different skill set. Just had someone the other day ask me, so why aren't you married? I'm like, if I met someone worth marrying, then I would. No joke, my dad did this time me. I didn't know how to change my tire on my car at 18, he never showed me, complained about it, and told me to figure it out. Not 10 minutes later his Wi-Fi went out and asked me to fix it. I told him to figure it out. How we can't fix anything ourselves. Then promptly ask us to fix their Wi-Fi, set up their new phone and figure out why their computer is running slow. We can do plenty, we just have a different skill set. Don't believe everything you see on the internet. My parents when I was a teenager in the late 90s. Now I have to tell my parents that. My dad did this to me too, when I was growing up. If I didn't know how to do something practical, he'd scoff and say, "Don't you even know how to do this?" when he had never taught me. Thankfully, I learned to teach myself from Google and YouTube. I'm trying to do better with my own daughter, and teaching her everything I think she needs to know and explaining so she knows the reasoning behind why certain things are done. Edit. I just wanted to clarify that even though my dad would comment, "Don't you even know that?" I don't think he was being an asshole as he'd just do what needed to be done for me by himself. He was just really bad at teaching and explaining things, so he'd just do things for me. That's a prime opportunity to maintain eye contact, express dominance, and answer, "Yes, yes, I am a fact checker." Because if anyone from the GF on is bothered by facts, you want to know that before you spend Thanksgiving with them for the rest of their lives. I hate how we've gone from me getting Facebook as a teenager and my parents being like, "Don't believe everything you see on the internet," to them sending me a medical research from unverified/unreputable sources. Not just that. You put yourself out there time and again. And when you finally get the interview, I know the job. I know the kind of worksite I will be around. I'm not 16 to 18 and stumbling my way in here, so I would like to get straight to the point. Pay. I need steady hours and a pay that is fitting for the work I am doing and the conditions I am doing it in. I have to be able to safely cover rent and my other bills. It says hiring at 13-18/HR. Why? Is that for someone who doesn't know what they are getting into? I know this job is dangerous and I would like a fair pay. I'm looking for 17.25 to start with raises coming later to end up around 20/21/HR. What? You can't? I've seen your workplace. I know the job you do. I know what I would have to clean and maintain and I can do it. I'm asking for fair pay because I've seen where I will be working and the kind of labor I will be doing. Won't hire for that pay because it's not worth it? This is a steel mill. You literally make fresh steel to ship out. I'm not going to break my back doing hard labor and not get fair pay. That's what it comes down to. Companies don't want to pay a fair wage and people don't want to be taken advantage of and treated like shit anymore.